So if you're in the market for a guitar that can handle as much gain as you could possibly throw at it, and you're a fan of active pickups, you might just like the guitar that we're going to be talking about in today's video. In this video, I'm going to be checking out this brand new guitar from the guys at Harley Benton. This is the SC Custom 3 Active. The SC Custom 3 is the third iteration of Harley Benton's SC Custom range, SC standing for single cut. So the guitar I'm holding today is the SC Custom 3 with active pickups. Now you can see what this guitar is inspired by just by the look of it. This is a guitar that is definitely catered more towards those who want to play higher gain styles of music such as hard rock and metal, but even though this has got active pickups, it's a pretty versatile instrument and it can do a lot of different things. Now, this guitar is also incredibly affordable. These actually retail off the shelf from Thomann at £266 in the UK, which for a guitar of this quality loaded with active pickups that plays the way this thing does is a bit of a steal, really. So in this video, we're going to be checking out what this thing can do. But before that, I just want to thank the guys at Harley Benton for very kindly sponsoring today's video and providing me with the guitar that you're going to see in the video. But as always, all the thoughts and opinions are my own. So this particular SC3 Custom that I'm holding, as you can see, is in this really fetching matte black finish. Now, I'm a big fan of matte black when it's paired with gold hardware. I think it's very clean looking, it's very sleek. Even though, you know, this is a guitar that you're probably going to play metal on, it almost has a certain elegance to it. I like the kind of contrast of the shiny gold with the matte black. The only downside to matte finishes is as you play them and as you kind of really dig into them, they do kind of show marks up a little bit more. But, you know, if you're going to be playing this as a hard rock or metal guitar, you're probably going to expect a couple of, you know, scrapes and bumps to happen along the way. Now, weight-wise, it's not a super light guitar. There's a good significant weight to this, but without it being a complete backbreaker. The body of this guitar is made from a wood called Meranti. Now, Meranti is a wood that's from the mahogany family. It's indigenous to Southeast Asia, which is where the guitar is made. So, you know, it's going to be a mahogany sounding guitar. You all know what single cuts made from mahogany sound like. On top of the body, we've got two Tesla active pickups. These are kind of EMG inspired, I want to say. I've not tested them out exactly against a set of EMGs, but, you know, visually they kind of look like EMGs. So tonally, that's what you're going to get roughly. Got a three-way pickup switch here, bridge, middle, which is both, and up, which is the neck. We've got two volumes. This is the volume for the neck pickup. This is the volume for the bridge pickup. We have a master tone. No kind of hidden switches or secrets here. It's just volumes, one tone, and three-way switches. No coil taps or anything you don't need. We've got a gold stop tail style bridge as well. This is a set neck guitar and it has a Meranti neck as well, which again is part of the mahogany family. It's a very slim neck. So if you're playing kind of faster stuff, it's definitely got that edge over a, you know, more traditional style single cut where you might have a chunkier neck. And also we've got this nice neck heel carve here. So when you're playing right up at that 24th fret, you can get your hand right in there. It's a 24 3/4 inch scale, as you'd expect. And we have a roasted Jatoba fingerboard. This fingerboard has a very modern 13.5 inch radius. It's around 13.5 inches anyway. The Harley Benton website specifies this as 350 millimeters. So that's roughly 13.5 inch radius there. So again, very flat, very kind of fast. And on top of that, we have 24 medium jumbo stainless steel frets. Up at the headstock end, we've got a 3-a-side layout with a slight tip of the hat to an open book style headstock. And on the back of that, we have some Grover tuners, which is a very nice touch considering the price that this guitar sits in. We actually get some premium branded tuners there as well. I think this is a really attractive looking guitar. Like I said earlier, this is a color combination that I really like, which is the matte black with the gold. I think there's a certain elegance to it. And actually, you know, in terms of playability, considering the price that this guitar is, this is actually one of the best. In fact, I may even say something quite controversial here. The best fretwork I've ever seen on a guitar in this price range. The fret ends are absolutely perfectly rounded off. There's not a single hint of any sharpness all the way up the neck. The frets are completely smooth and almost glassy. The strings just kind of slide over them. And yeah, even just out of the box, this thing was literally ready to go. So I'm really impressed by how this thing has arrived. And the fact that you can get a guitar, especially with fretwork that good, for under £300 is quite frankly a little bit mind-blowing. I've typically only seen fretwork this good with this kind of attention to detail where the fret ends are actually, you know, nicely rounded off and everything. That's typically reserved for when you get up closer to £1,000. So yeah, well done Harley Benton just on that little detail alone. The fact that this is spec'd up and set up the way it is for the price it is just incredible. So now, I'm going to plug this thing in so we can hear some sounds. So gear-wise, I've got the Harley Benton SC Custom 3 going into 2 different amps for this video. For the cleaner tones, I'm going to be using the Blackstar HT20mkIII. And for the overdriven tones, I'm going to be using the Peavey 6505. Both the amps are going to be run through the 2-notes Torpedo Captor X. So I'm going to start with some cleaner tones, using the Blackstar HT20mkIII, and I'm just going to play on all 3 pickup positions with some cleaner tones. Now, a guitar like this obviously isn't really designed for clean tones. It has some quite sparkly sounds, but the active pickups are quite hot, so what they're actually doing is pushing the amp slightly harder. So when I'm playing clean, I'm actually having to play that little bit softer to kind of bring the gain levels in, because the amp is actually set completely clean, but the pickups are pushing the input stage. So if I dig in a little bit, we get some kind of breakup tones because the pickups are quite hot. Now, I'm not someone who's actually got any guitars with active pickups. I've never really gravitated towards the active pickup sound, although I do think these sound very nice. What I'm really noticing here is a feel thing. It kind of feels like I've got a compressor switched on because the pickups feel like there's not a huge amount of dynamic range. So even when I'm playing softer, even though I'm hitting the amp not as hard because obviously it's cleaning up a little bit more, I kind of feel like the guitar doesn't have much volume variation when I play at different kind of velocities. I definitely feel that it kind of feels a bit more compressed, which is not a bad thing. It's just my kind of observation on this sound. It's a bit more compressed, a lot more even sounding. So I can kind of see why active pickups really appeal to people who play quite articulate stuff, because if your pick hand dynamics are changing because you're picking something quite busy, the kind of compression that these pickups add balances things out a little bit, which I quite like actually. That's quite a useful thing to know, because there's going to be instances where I use this guitar for some quite intricate stuff myself, and that's a really cool thing to know because the pickups will help me play that sort of thing. Those pickups are also great for some kind of clean leads because you get this slightly bluesy bite to them. I know this, again, is not a guitar that's designed to play blues, but you can do it. The push of those pickups actually perfectly allows you to get a bit of bite out of the clean tone, which is quite nice actually. So now I've switched over to the Peavey 6505. So I'm going to be playing the guitar now through the lead channel of that amp with the gain set to about 4, and I've got the classic 6505 setup of all the EQ controls set to 6. So this thing can definitely handle some gain, and obviously something like the 6505 has way more gain available than even what I just used. Now again, talking about the feel of these pickups, what I noticed is being a bit more of a player who kind of leans more on the bluesy side of things, my playing style actually lends itself quite well to being a little on the looser side. And what I can feel when I play this guitar is that this guitar does not like that. These pickups are actually very, very unforgiving for a player like me, which is not a great thing if you're going to buy one of these to play blues on, but the chances are you're probably not. If you are the sort of player who is in the market for something like this, you're probably looking to play higher gain styles of music, in which case you're probably not going to be playing with a kind of a looser technique. So what these pickups really like is precision. What I find when I play this is any kind of little mistakes I make are very apparent because the pickups have that compression. They make your mistakes just as loud as your good notes, which is a good thing because, you know, if you're a guitar player, it makes you work a bit harder. These pickups will definitely make you aware of anything you're doing that is not right. So keep that in mind if you're going to move into the active pickup world. They aren't going to hide your mistakes. So be prepared to be humbled and ashamed when you play pickups like this, because they will show everything you do. But yeah, I mean, overall, I'm very, very impressed with this thing. It plays great. It sounds great. Like I said, I'm not the sort of player who, you know, typically gravitates towards an active guitar, because it's not really my thing. And I've never really had a need for the 24th fret in my own playing before, but it's definitely fun to have that option. And this is a guitar that I'm really going to have a lot of fun with, I think. If you're in the market for something that can handle high gain, hard rock, and everything else you want to throw at it, please check this thing out. There are some links down below in the description where you can find out a bit more about this guitar. Let me know down below in the comments what you thought of the sounds of the SC Custom 3. I'd love to hear what you guys think about the tones of this thing. And if you've picked one of these up yourself, I'd love to hear your experience with the guitar as well. While you're doing that, don't forget to hit the like button and hit that subscribe button, because it really helps me to keep the channel growing. A big thanks once again to the guys at Harley Benton for sponsoring the video and sending this really cool guitar over. Thank you guys for watching as always, and I'll see you very, very soon.